Okay, still hear me? Or did I mute everybody? Tell me if it's changed. Okay, good to go. So welcome. You're at an Arbonne meeting if you didn't know. So everybody that's either calling in or zooming in, welcome. And we're gonna put the recording up for everybody who's missing because of work and stuff tonight. But so a few things that we're gonna go over tonight will be recognition. We're gonna talk about some training, and then we're going to just update you on some things that are coming in the future and go over some new pricing and stuff that Arbonne's got and kind of go from there. And we'll also go through the events that are coming later for May, so you know what we have that you can put people into. And we're hoping to make these so that people can zoom into them and watch what we're doing as tutorials and then build it from there. So we will get started. First thing will be recognition. And we have a ton, so get ready to hoop and holler for these people. And a lot of them might not be here. So I know a lot of my team is in other cities or states. So first one would be Top New and You, and I will explain what we have. I'll explain what we're going over and stuff and what it takes to get there. Making sure here a second that we can get it. Is this clear? Because it says it's going through my speaker. Jennifer?
It's clearer now.
It's clearer now? Okay.
You get loud when you're standing in front of your computer, but when you go stand to the mirror or to the wall, it sounds like you're far away. So I don't know if
Okay, how about we just pull you over then? How's that? Let me back up a second. Okay, is that better? Can you still hear?
I think so.
Or is it going far away?
it just sounds like you're standing in your living room. It's okay. Just stop.
Super close. Okay, so I'm gonna have everybody mute again, please. But for recognition for Top New and You, this includes anything that you personally did and then anybody that you personally sponsored. So let me use Nate as an example. So it would include anything Nate did and then anything that his mother, that he personally sponsored as an example. And it does not count anything that any new consultant that she signed up, it would stop at her. So it goes one level down. So Top New and You is Maureen Little Dog with 6,745, and she's up in Whitefish. So congratulations. And then we will recognize anybody who did 2,500 New and You, and this is a building block. So if you want your business, you want to see if your business is growing or dying, start looking at the people that are doing 2,500 New and You, because you can't be doing 2,500 New and You and your business be dying. It's impossible. Okay, so this is what we teach. So anybody that's doing this is also how new consultants get into qualification for district manager and so on. So I'm going to read through them and then we can clap for everybody, and I'll give flowers for people that are here. So anybody that hit top 2,500 New and You would be Sari Jones, Esther Chesson, Stephanie Depew, myself, Maureen Little Dog, Sarah Lytle, Eileen Vickers, Martina Rodoni, Elena Day, Sheila Musel, Jennifer Peace, Michaela Shager, and Cindy Waltz. Flowers. Okay. You can maybe just stand up here too.
Right.
Here, we can
so we'll just exchange flowers.
Bouquets.
We'll just exchange flowers.
So we're gonna go over, because there's a whole bunch coming, so. And there was a discrepancy with top sponsoring, so I'm gonna get back to you on who that was. There was some back and forth conversation over it, but we will also recognize anybody who sponsored at least 5 $150 preferred clients or consultants. And in doing that, sponsoring again is the lifeblood of your business. If you're bringing new people in, whether it's onto products or people starting the business, you can't have a business that's dying. So anybody that sponsored at least 5 or more is Stephanie Depew, Sari Jones, Maureen Little Dog, Martina Rodoni, Sheila Musel, and myself. So congratulations. Let's get a big hug afterwards. Yeah. And then Arbonne has multiple levels for a qualification for district manager, and we give recognition for anybody who is at 2,500 or more a month with themselves and their team. There are many other people who are in qualification at the lower level, but no, again, it's going to be based on the 2,500 new and you. So in qualification for district manager, and at this level, your paycheck is on average between $200 to about $1,300, and that totally depends on the person. Is Rondell Valentke, sponsored by Cindy Waltz, and Tamina Ringer, sponsored by Elizabeth Ritsu. And top district, and this would be the district manager with the most volume in their central district, is Martina Redoni with over 10,000. Wow. So that is going to go right into, in qualification for area manager, is Martina Redoni with over 10,000. And then top area is myself with over 26,000. And our team is on fire. Like, this is so exciting because even though there isn't tons of people here, every one of these people that are calling in, or people have people with them in living rooms that are watching in or watching recordings. And we're catching like wildfire. It's awesome. It's super cool. That would also go over halfway to qualification for region. So halfway to region is 20,000. So we're over that. And top region volume is Julie Nielsen with 68,200. So it sounds like a lot. And I know that she's also over halfway the nation. So we also recognize for anybody who earned their district manager bonus. And when you bonus as a district manager, so first you become a district manager, you get your bonus by signing up at least 5 or more new preferred clients or consultants with $150 orders, and also having $5,000 in your central district. So meaning, okay, if think of it kind of like tents. You sign up and you're a person and you have this little tent. So I have a tent with everybody that I've signed up. Until those people become district managers, they're all in my tent. Does that make sense? So when somebody gets to district manager, when they're hitting their bonus, they're sponsoring people. Normally they have people in qualification for district. So people that hit their district manager bonus, which is another $200 immediately in your paycheck, is Sari Jones, Stephanie Depew, myself, Maureen Littledog, Sheila Musel, Martina Redoni, and Julie Nielsen. And we're gonna give a huge shout out to Stephanie Depew. She became a district manager last month and hit her bonus her first month out, which is awesome. So congratulations to Stephanie. And then area manager bonus. So when you're an area manager, you also get recognition and you make another $400 when you have a minimum of 10 new signups. And your central area, same thing, you have little tents. Your area consists of anybody that is you on your team until that person hits area. So you could have somebody in qualification for area, but they still count in your tent until they hold the title. Does that make sense? So area manager bonus is an extra $400, and area manager bonus earners for April was myself and Michaela Shager. And then we also have a VP bonus. So anybody that is a region or above, as long as they are bonusing their region, they get an extra $600 a paycheck. And Regis or a VP bonus earners is Julie Nielsen and Marianne Hubbard. So congratulations. And then we're recognizing the top 3 central districts, again, meaning that it's yourself and your little tent. And the reason being is this is how Arbonne helps you earn trips. So in that, the vacation that we have coming to the Bahamas, for you to earn that trip, you can only earn it by pretty much bringing in new people into your central business and helping those people promote. So the trips and all the things that you're earning will always be based on what you yourself are doing in your central business. So it's easy to get, when you start working, it's easy to start managing and helping all these other people, but as soon as you start doing that, you're not building yourself. You're pretty much going to help those people pass you. So you need to balance it. So top district was myself with over 13,000. Second was Cindy Walt with over 12,000 and Martina with over 10,000. So congratulations. So we're going to talk about, oh, I have gifts for new people too. Sorry, didn't do this at the beginning. So here's a gift for new guests. You're welcome. Nice to meet you. So we're gonna jump right in because I know we're wanting to be finished by 8 o'clock. And thank you for all the different time zones. Like, we're trying to work this so that people from Washington can get on and they're off work, and people from back east can get on and they're not on fizz sticks and trying not to sleep. But we just came out, or our one just posted, and I'll pass these so you can see. But we just posted the new ASVP flyers, and this will only be for May because we're going to be changing and adding free shipping and other things coming on orders. So when you print these off, this is going to be posted on your team page. When you print these off, know that these are just for May. And I like how they go over the front, and it talks about kind of like the preferred client, you can be a host, and how they're doing this, they're setting it up so, because there are two different host rewards programs, our team chooses to use one where we as the consultant are gifting the hostess back instead of Arbonne the company, because it puts more dollars in your own paycheck. But then we can show them, when they host, we can show them this. So this will be posted, but notice on the back, all the ASVP specials, they're going to show you the retail price, and they're also going to show you the preferred client price. And the preferred client price on an ASVP is always 40% off. So Arbonne's teaching a lot of making sure you're maintaining and helping with your clients and showing people the value of what they have as far as client discounts goes and whatnot. If a person is signing up as a consultant, they still get those same ASVPs. Just take the retail price up at the top, it's black, and they would get half off of that price. Okay, so you can go find, I think there might be another one for consultants, but it's going to be extremely confusing, and it's going to be printing off a ton of paper. So you just take the black price, divide it in half, and make sure you're adding in their $79 to sign up as a consultant. Or if they are already a consultant, then our cost on it would be looking at the black and in half. Okay, and then there also is posted on the source. So log into your account, and under your dashboard, there's a green bar across the top. Scroll over to resources, and under resources is the source. Find the source, and it should automatically log you in, and look for the product price list. And if it's confusing, just scroll down the page, because they have so many people looking for it right now. It'll be one of the top files. But I just printed off, honestly, you just need one. So you can print off one of them. And there's been discussion going back and forth. I'm pretty sure we have new catalogs coming that have prices in them, but I also know that there have been high up NVPs asking Arbonne to not put the prices in so that people can sit there and flip through with us and hear what we're saying instead of getting sticker shock. So it might be something in the future that they continue to leave the prices out of the catalog, kind of using this as a trial run to see what happens. But then make sure you're up to date on the price differences. A few things changed, not everything, but just be aware of what the changes are for that. And one of the trainings that I was going to cover, and what I've seen literally in 4 days, my team completely quadrupled. From consultants I had that were there kind of maybe wanted to work, to consultants that were actually working. And this will be using the new consultant binder. And part of this, if you do not have SoundCloud, hook up SoundCloud or download SoundCloud on your phone and go search for Donna Johnson and follow her. ENVP Donna Johnson. Okay, ENVP Donna Johnson. And add yourself, if you haven't been added, add yourself to the Go for the Gold call group on Facebook. She does a call every Saturday at, I want to say it's like 9 her time, but then she records them and you can upload them on SoundCloud. So as we're driving back from Texas with like all this extra time, I mean, you're driving through the night, somebody has to sleep. So we figured the system out where one of us could have a headphone in, and then we could just swap trainings or whatever. And yeah, I've learned a lot the last week. Driving for 2 days, you've taken a lot. But part of how this came about was seeing all these new consultants that come in, they're on fire, they want to work, and we're helping them, and you can see them just glaze over. And it's like, there is so much information, they don't even know where to start. Well, the systems that we had been using, we either had to email them, which was horrible, because then they would keep an email, so if something got updated, then they're starting a new consultant 7 months later with outdated information. Or if we're using Facebook, then every time someone comments to tell a person that this is the document they need, it moves that document in the feed. So you end up with all these documents that just keep scooting. So I was driving to Missoula about a month and a half ago, and one of the calls I was listening to, she was talking about a binder system, which we already teach, and she mentioned a new consultant binder, and you pretty much would print this out, have it together, and she listed a few things to put in there, and based on some training and coaching that Martina and I have been paying for through Jerry Rosenthal, some of the ways he helps people or coaches them, I guess, on how to close and how to train people and show people what your business is. It is incredible, and it makes so much sense. And I have to tell you, because I'm no different than you, something new comes out, and the first thing I do is like, seriously, I have to go print more off. Okay, what about the last stuff I had? Like, why isn't that good enough? But I'm paying this man, and he makes a lot of money. So I'm like, be coachable, Grace, be coachable. Listen to what he's saying, do what he says. And I started doing it, and even just like the verbiage for one-on-ones, the verbiage for how to show people what we have without overloading them, without giving them just enough, but where when we get up and leave, you know what they're at. They're either a client, or they're a preferred client, or they're a consultant, or they're referring someone to you. You didn't leave that meeting with nothing. And I feel like that's what was happening a lot on my team. And as you go and you learn, first of all, you're scared to death. There's a lot to take in, and it changes person to person to person. So when you hear trainings and they're like, take a system, make it yours. I struggled for literally over 7 years. And this is one of the biggest things I struggled on, because I'm a very black and white person. There is a right way and there is a wrong way. Do not give me this little line down the middle and tell me to figure it out. I don't even know what I'm doing, kind of thing. So when I started using a system, I sponsored like 9 consultants to work in a month. And then I was freaking out, like, oh my goodness, what do I do with them? Like, I don't know what to do, what comes next. And like, I can see the same look on people's faces. I sponsored, they're like, oh crap, what do I do with people? So as she was talking, and through Jerry's coaching, it just kind of streamlined, and honestly, it made it super simple. And the people that I have shown this to, and I even went back and called consultants from 4 years ago when I actually started working Arbonne consistently, and said, and they quit because it was, I mean, everybody has a reason. But I just asked, was it that you were confused? Was it that there was too much information, or you didn't feel like it was simple enough to follow? And a few of them, it was life things happening, but other people were like, oh, it was so overloading. Like, I didn't even know what to do with somebody. But for us, because we see it change, for us, it's easy. For a brand new person coming in, all they see is file, like all over the place. And it's extremely difficult. So what I did, through the trainings that he was doing, you have a binder, and we have a Google Drive. So if you all can, well, I guess I would have to give you the Google Drive thing, but let me walk you through this really quick then. If you go to the link, and if you don't have it, we can send it to you, if this is something that your lineage is teaching. Let me go find this a second. So if you go to the link for this Google Drive and you click on it, pretty much what it has done, it has taken all of the file folders, and when this comes up you can see, but it's taken all the file folders and all the items, and you have a folder per binder. So if you're a brand new consultant and you don't know what to do, instead of me just sending you to this 150 document page and you don't know what to print or where to find it, whatnot, I can tell you just to go here, okay? If you are somebody, because I know for a fact, my team is going to grow so fast. This is one of the things that's kept us from growing. And having something so simple, I want to be able to reach down and help somebody, 11 people at least from me, or they can hear a training or watch a video or something, know where to go, and I don't even have to have a conversation with them. I mean, if I need to, I can, but it should be so stupidly simple. So if you go in here and you click on it, if you just walk through Intuition, the very first file folder you're going to click on will be getting started. Okay, then you click on that and it'll tell you what you need for binders. And then every one of those documents in that file folder, there's going to be an index per binder. Okay, so brand new consultant, I'm going to use Nate as an example. Brand new consultant, he can go on, he can look at it, pull it up, say new consultant binder, and this is happening with his mom. She printed all of it off, and then I could call her and go through it because I'm not physically there to give her a binder. Okay, but what you want to eventually have happen when you're building locally is you have somebody who just invested to start a business, and we all know that however we talk to somebody right off is extremely important based on the information they're getting, how they're reaching out to the people that they know. You can either turn someone onto your business or turn them off in a matter of 10 words or less. You pretty much have one chance. Well, if they have something to, if you're giving them tracks to run on, it's so much simpler than doing what I did. You pretty much go through and you're like, well, I'm trying to find a system. I'm trying to make it mine. I didn't like how that sounded. I'm going to change it. And it's stupid. So having something that they can have, and literally, like you go through, so you run through the first questions. I can look at somebody and say, I'm so excited you joined our team. This is a gift for you because it's going to be about a week before your order gets to you. So what are you doing? You're engaging them within the first 15 minutes of them signing up for the business. If they have something right in front of them, they're going to see it instead of having to run around and try to find it and in 2 days be overloaded and quit, right? Like it happens. So I give that to them, say, okay, now we're going to run through this really quickly. They can pull up and you ask them the 4 questions. And here I'm finding out at what pace does that person want to work instead of what am I going to push on them? Because what Jerry was pointing out is that companies just have, this is how people work. We would have so much more business builders, even if they were working just a little bit. That's still a little bit that you as a business owner doesn't do. So it's accumulating all these little chunks of people, no matter what they're working, little or large, but they're choosing what pace they want to work at. And the nice thing is that life changes so quickly. They can go from walking to running in a week. They can go from walking to jogging. They might have to go from running back to jogging. Like you need to work with it and figure it out. But then they get to choose. I am not their mom now. When I call them, they answer the phone instead of feeling like I'm calling to find out why they aren't doing what they should be doing. It's not my job. I'm going to do that for myself. But kind of helping with that and then giving them responsibility of their own business. And then the next one through here is assessing your behavior style. So knowing how you as a person work, and there's an answer sheet on there. So I'm going to have you go through this and you answer one or the other. Like you cannot be an answer in both columns. You have to, each line, you are one or the other. Go through, your total has to total 26. When you're finished, go find the answer sheet and it'll tell you how you learn and who you work the best with. It'll tell you, like in learning, what do people think when they're working with you? How do you come across to them? So for me, one of the behavior styles is very direct, but spontaneous. So I need you to get to the point, but we need to have fun doing it. Like, don't waste my time. Tell me what's coming next, but I want to have fun. So don't tell me what to do at the same time. But figuring out how people work, it makes it so much easier to be able to work with them. And then you can talk about that. It also makes it easier for me to train that person. So I know when I was working with Nate, when I was doing this, some of the things he would just look at me like, are you serious? I have to do this? And I just would start laughing and I'd say, I'm not doing it because I think you're that stupid or you need me to hold your hand that much. You're going to have somebody on your team who's going to be this personality type who needs it. So this helps you identify that. And then it kind of goes through, what are your reasons for working Arbonne? And you need to do this activity with somebody You cannot just write it down for yourself. You need somebody to ask you, what's it gonna feel like when you get there? How do you know you got there? Whatever your reason is. If that never happens, what feeling do you feel? You need somebody else to do it for you. It's really hard to do for yourself. And then doing the beliefs and fear exercise is just writing on a piece of paper, what is it, and ripping it in half. What's your passions? Putting your passion and in one word. And if you can't, again, it's helpful to do it with somebody because you can go from that right to this. But helping them, like I can help them break it down into one word, what their passion may be, instead of 17 passions, or like coming back to one thing. So for me, my passion is helping people, like figuring out what their passion is, honestly. Like seeing someone struggle and having no purpose literally rips my heart out. It is the hardest thing for me to watch. So figuring out how to find a purpose or how to help them figure out their purpose. So for me, when I did it, and it's kind of cool, you can do it in pen too, because then it stays there for a while, or maybe permanent marker, because the next few days that you do it, you're going to be like, you're learning a lot. So it's kind of hard to keep up on all these things you're learning, but permanent marker doesn't come off. So all these feelings that you're feeling, you're going to have a really good feeling on your left side, and you're going to have a really shitty feeling on your right side. And as you're going throughout your day, you can just look at your hands and go, oh yeah, okay, it's this one. This one's winning. All right, turn around, face this way, kind of thing. But so for me, I wrote hope on this hand. And one of my biggest fears is failing, whether it's people watching me, whether it's rejection, whether it's honestly speaking in front of people, like the list goes on and on and on. So failing, but everybody's version of failing looks different. If you write this here, so I'm gonna have you guys in your head, hold it out real quick, put your hands out, and in your head, put your passion on your left hand and put your fear on your right hand. Okay, so turn them around so you can see them. If you hold them out this way, look to one of them. Every one of you looked at your passion. Why? Because we hate this black pit feeling. Nobody wants to feel it, ever. We're gonna do whatever we can to get away from it. But as soon as you look from here and you feel hope, as soon as you look over here and you feel despair, honestly, what are you gonna do with it? It's like you don't wanna stay here. You wanna get away from that as fast as possible. So showing people what to expect. And quite honestly, as you are a new consultant and you're starting, you could go through that 25 times a day minimum. But just tell them what to expect, like what's coming. And then kind of going through the rest, it talks about what products do you need to get started, depending on which part of the aspect of the business you're working. But eventually you want to end up with all of them. There's verbiage to help somebody close. So say you're at a presentation and I can't help you. You can use this cheat sheet and literally ask the questions. And by the time you're finished, you will have either sponsored a consultant, booked a presentation, or you have a new client. Worst case scenario, you have a referral or a callback, right? Like you should never leave something empty-handed. Your time is your money. And using that time to make your money is extremely important. The next one is verbiage on how to, like what to say. So same thing, I can have somebody in Wyoming. And I think that when you start somebody, some people want you to help them call a few people. And so I'll ask them what they're comfortable with. And maybe I help them call one or two. But then when they see how it's gonna go, and role playing is key. I know it sounds stupid, it feels stupid when you're doing it, but my biggest fear was people that I knew listening to me. As soon as I got over my husband listening to me make phone calls, and we weren't even married yet. Honestly, training Arbonne people is super scary, believe it or not. Like having other people hear what you're saying, it's scary. But if you stop, God designed every one of them the same. They all put their pants on the same, and they're all, like you all are gonna die the exact, like we don't control that. It's all the same person. It doesn't matter what money they own or what their life looks like. They still eat the same food, right? So if you change it and put it into perspective of who we're talking to, it's a person. And it totally changes what becomes scary. You can role play with them because we do the same thing, and it's called a chicken list. It's extremely easy to put people on your chicken list. But quite honestly, the people that are on your chicken list are the very first people you should talk to. because there's a reason that they scare you. They scare you because they intimidate you and because they're probably already successful at something they're currently doing. So in that sense, it's helpful for whoever sponsored you if they're working or your upline to help you with that. And then kind of going through the rest of it, it teaches you how to go from getting a no. So I'm going to run through this verbiage real quick. So you're telling somebody about what you're doing and you're asking them to host for you. Say they hate hosting. They're going to tell you no. Okay, next you go down, would you be willing to meet me for coffee or over the phone? Like, give them options. If we stop at the first pushback, that person will always be a no. And then you're going to show up at GTC and that person will be walking stage as a national vice president and you'll be sitting there going, I asked them, what gives? You didn't ask them and keep pushing, like pushing through that person's fear, okay? So the next, would you be willing to meet me for coffee? You know what, I can't, I'm really busy. Awesome, would you do a skincare or nutrition study for me? You can do it at your own house. Like worst case scenario, same thing, that you're getting them on products. If they say no to that, you're gonna go back to asking for referrals. Like there's always something to fall back on. I can't walk up to someone, and you're always taught to start with a business and then work to products and end at referrals. Because I can't walk up to somebody and say, hey, I have this awesome nutrition line. I lost 30 pounds on it. Would you like to try it? No. But I have this incredible business opportunity. Can I show you? Like they're gonna laugh at you and walk away. If you start with a business and the Is Arbonne For You sheet works incredibly well at this. Same thing, because I struggled with talking to people about the business. It lines it out. So if I'm sitting across the table from someone who is scary to me, and it happens, like don't think it doesn't. When I get to this side and it talks about the income and what you get paid, if I do not tell them, they can look me in the face and know that I didn't do my job. So, but it's on a paper, so it's not confrontational. It's not like you're shoving anything on them. You pretty much just use this, and you will be taught, if you're on my team, to use this for every type of one-on-one. I don't care if it's products, business, whatever. You always start with this, because at the end, down at the bottom, you're giving them the choice of what to do with the information you just gave them. Okay, so somebody starting that I'm not there to help, walk over this sheet and the coaching verbiage from Jerry. And this, since I started using his coaching verbiage for one-on-ones, I am not kidding, my ratio, so when you start, like it's a numbers game, right? Anything in network marketing, if anybody tells you it's not, they're lying to you. It is a numbers game. It is based on your skill, and as your skill rises, the number of people that you talk to out of 10 people that join you gets higher and higher and higher. Okay, so when I started, out of 10 people, maybe 2 would say yes. I was excited with that. But what we usually do is we quit on the person that said no, instead of looking at it and going, oh, you're only number 8, awesome, here's number 9, and work on and move to that next person. We stop. In that, when you're doing this, it's teaching you better skills so that you can raise your own ratio. Because the only person that controls your ratio is you. So for me, it's me. If you are learning and you are growing, and you're doing it repetitively, you're raising your own ratio. Okay? Now, you can't say you raise your ratio. Some people will come in and their ratio starting is 5 out of 10 people will say yes. Okay, that's pretty awesome. By the time you keep going, make your goal to be like 9 to 10 out of 10 people say yes. And whether any way they say yes, in some version they said yes to you, whether it was products, the business, or referrals. Okay, makes sense? But just work on your ratio. But in using this, my ratio has gone from maybe 3 to 4 out of 10 to like 6 to 7 to 8 out of 10. And it's all in how you do it, because your confidence in what you know is going to change how that person listens to you. And I think Nate, honestly, was probably, and he didn't know this, so you get it on the figure today. We had just done this, and I met with Nate. And I was like, okay, so I whipped out my little notebook, and I was sitting over here, and I had it under the table, so I could run through and make sure I was asking the right questions in the right order. He would have been somebody, because he was a referral from his mother for products. And something was telling me to ask him about the business, and I was scared to death too. I was like, I'm gonna have a guy on my team that wants to work. What am I gonna do? Because I have men on my team but they get to the part where it's confusing and they quit. But I will say something about sponsoring you. It has made me go back through everything I do and look at it and go, in any country, in any race, in any gender, would that person be successful? And before, the answer was no. So I met with him. He said he wanted to become a consultant. And he doesn't know this, but I came home and I started flipping through everything, being like, this is stupid. Why do we tell them they only need makeup? Why do we tell them they only need skincare? Like, he's not gonna go do a party with people with makeup and skincare, because like, just the answers I was kidding. And it's not that he won't sell it, because he will. But the way it was lined out was for a woman. And it was for a woman who wore makeup. Okay, before Arbonne, I hated makeup. And now it's like, now I'm excited. So to do tutorials to teach people how to use makeup, because we hate something and repel and reject what we do not understand. That is it. So if you are being repelled, rejected, or hated by somebody, honestly, it's probably because they don't understand what you are offering or what you have in front of them. Does that make sense? So next time somebody says no to you, know that they're not saying no to you. They just don't understand what you're talking about. Maybe wait. We just came back from a wedding in Texas, and one of my aunts, I have used Arbonne I just had my 11th anniversary, and I kind of sold it, but I sold it and sucked at it. I held myself a district manager. I was never going to talk in front of people, and I wasn't extremely coachable, but there wasn't a lot to, if I asked for something, there wasn't a lot to hand down to me. It was just like, just get a catalog, go through it, we do a party. I hated parties, hated them, would die before I would do a party. So I did one-on-ones because I was comfortable with that. And I can tell if somebody is comfortable with it, just do a one-on-one. You're gonna keep growing. Your comfort level will rise with your knowledge, okay? So in and through this, one of my aunts was probably one of the hardest shutdowns. And I mean, my family sucked. Like, literally, I'm impressed that you guys stick together. My family was horrible. To this day, I have family members that will not use Arbonne or won't even listen to anything about it. So here we go to this wedding. And my aunt, one of my aunts, just bought, and she bought one thing. She bought the lip treatment from the New Genius line and is basing all of Arbonne on one product for her. So if she uses it incorrectly, what's she gonna do? She's gonna still hate it. She likes what they stand for, but she's not willing to invest enough of herself to see what anything else does. But in that, she said, like, she gave me the hardest no. My aunt, that her daughter got married, same thing. And like, pretty much you're looked at like you're a moron and this is not a business. You're never gonna make money. I was sitting there at the wedding watching people and talking, and when I get to the next level, which is where you get the car, my husband can retire. Most people don't get to retire that early. Like, that's insane. And I'm sitting there listening to these people, because they're all, I think my aunt's like 50, like high 40s, 50. She's talking about what they can do to retire, and they have nothing. It's like whatever their business they're in. I mean, she gets retirement from this, but their businesses that they're in, it's not that they're gonna keep making money every month and that they can keep growing on it. And some people, it's gonna take 11 years to get them to hear that much of your story. And honestly, buy a lip treatment. She bought two. She bought one for her mom and she bought one for her. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, I'm not going anywhere. And next time I come see you, if I'm driving, trust me, it will be a Mercedes. But it's like everybody puts it on income, and well, what are you getting paid? I'm watching people that finish college, and I chose to never go to college, and watching them finish college. And if you want to, it's impressive, do it. But I feel like so many children are pushed into it because it's the next step. It's what you do. But if you don't love what you're about to go do, you're never going to get your money's worth or the value out of it. But watching the people and my other cousins, it's like the amount of student loan debt sitting in that room with me is astounding, because they're all finishing college with student loan debt. And I mean, most of the two getting married are engineers. It's not freaking cheap to become an engineer. Like they have a lot of student debt. And here you have 2 engineers that just got married. Okay, they're working on debt, whatever, but they still have loan payments. They're gonna go buy a house. Maybe they both have car payments. You have 2 incomes. If they're incredibly awesome incomes, it's gonna be fine. But what would happen if one of the people in that house, for whatever reason, ended up not making an income that month? That's a lot of money. And like we look at people that end up with they're going to collections and whatnot. You know, it's not like you get a couple tries. You know, like you end up in collections pretty quickly. But think about what you can offer people. And am I sad? I'm a hairstylist. I'm not sad I became a hairstylist. But when I went through school, I knew if I didn't do it then, no way in hell would I make this big of a paycheck and then go back through school. It was horrible. It was one of the worst things I ever did. Am I happy that I can do it because I'm passionate about it now? Yes. But as soon as I'm at the level where you get your car and I'm making $7 to $8 grand a month, I'm not gonna pay somebody else to be yelling in my face. Like I would never do it. Do you know what I mean? So think about the people that maybe don't want to go to college. And the cool thing, if you flip, I don't care who you can take, you can line up any person. And one of the pictures I posted was talking about how it's a clear level playing field. There is a stay-at-home mother standing next to the pastor's wife, who's the church secretary, standing next to a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist. Like the list goes on and on and on, but they can all make the same paycheck and they can all start the exact same way. But what does it come down to? Again, the basic of it is duplicating. And I feel like anything in here, as we use it, the only change that we will see for things that you guys are printing off, which you're gonna love this, the only change we will see is if Arbonne, like they just added the new Genius Ultra. So you will probably end up needing to reprint 1 page of the presentation that includes the information for Genius Ultra instead of having to reprint a whole presentation. Or as we go, the more people we have use this, taking things and like keep refining things that we don't need or making the things that we're using easy. So is it a work in progress? Absolutely. But just be happy you don't have what we had when we started. Because I know Martina's, I think, right with me, or we started it roughly around the same time. But it's like things have come so far. We have people calling and Skyping in to be trained. And you're being trained, you get to train for free. So use the people that train and the SoundCloud and all the, I would suggest also go and find Eric Warre, who is GoPro trainings. Go find him and follow him. I was listening to some of his trainings and I have a call to action for you guys that's on that. But the information and he would pull people from all different network marketing businesses, so they can't normally tell what marketing or what company they're with. And he's been doing $1 million interviews, meaning that these people make over $1 million a year. Quite honestly, a lot of them are right at $1 million or just under $1 million a month, which is astounding. It's insane. But one of the guys started selling candy out of his backpack at school. And like he sold drugs. He sold more drugs than anybody ever sold, but he didn't want to do that with his life. So he started selling candy. The principal literally came and took his backpack away and said, if you sell this again, I'm expelling you. Well, at that point he went to drugs and was like, I can't do this with my life. Like I need something. I need people to stop running my life. And through turn of events, whatever, got involved in network marketing. But some of the things that they were talking about, the top 3 tips that every one of them gives you, the first one is grow yourself, because your team can only grow into who you are. Like think of it like yourself in a container. If I'm a lid for my team, nobody on my team is gonna go past me. Sorry, but I need to keep growing. I don't want you to have to stop at where I'm at. If you think of it that way, it's gonna make you constantly keep growing. And all you have to do as a leader, it sounds scary, but all you have to do is stay 1 step ahead of the people, whoever you have coming next. Because you can take a brand new professional, they don't know what they're doing. It's network marketing. They have no clue what to expect. Stay a step ahead of them. And the second one was be consistent. because you can be a roller coaster, which I was for 7. Honestly, let's go to 9. Let's be fair and go to 9 years. The most consistent years that I've had was this year and last year. But if you're consistent and you're doing something every day, doing a little bit every day, I'm not joking. I did not think we were going to end number-wise where we ended. I had so much activity out there that I didn't really have the ability to bring all back in and get all closed up before the end of the month. And think of it like you're working in a 90-day cycle. What you do today, you will get paid on 90 days from now. And when you do that, most people that quit in any business they start, they quit within their first 30 to 60 days because they're not being paid on it yet. Well, if you know that whatever you're doing, you're not going to get paid on for 90 days, you're not going to quit. And that's what they mean when they talk about making sure you're sticking around for your paycheck. But I'm watching as just random, and the law of attraction is huge. I had so many people call to place $300 to $500 orders while I was gone. And I was just sitting there like, this is crazy. I wouldn't have been the person 4 years ago to be able to handle what happened in the last 3 days of the month, this last month. Let's go last week. Like talking to all these people, showing them this, and having people that were consultants come back and like, wow, this is crazy. Like it's so organized. This is fantastic. And then having the guts to ask them, well, would you look at working Arbonne again? I literally have like 12 people to turn around and train. That's kind of scary, but it's not. Why? Because not every one of them is choosing to work at the same pace. Whereas prior, I would have in my head thought every one was going to run. So I would have responded to every person like they were going to run. Now that I know that I have a few people walking, I have a few people jogging, I have a few people running, it's so much more doable from this side to know I can just put a little bit in. But then watch those people. What are they committing to consistently? If they're committing to walking consistently and then randomly they can jog or whatever, like consistency is where the money is made. And the last one was follow up. And I started thinking about one of the ladies that was my very first consultant that I signed up in Great Falls. She was one of the people that I called to ask to look at this and see, kind of like, can I do what I changed? Can I use it on you to see if it's as easy as I'm hoping it is? And she said, sure. And she is extremely quiet. She gets anxiety if she has to be around more than 3 to 4 people at a time. I mean, like it's not somebody that you were going to look at and go, yeah, she's going to be a national vice president. But in my heart, I know she is, because whatever she does, she has the biggest heart, and that's kind of where we get stuck. We quit instead of using our heart to let us keep going. We stop when we're looking at us being like, oh, I'm afraid, I can't do this. Instead of saying, I can keep going because I'm doing it for that person. That's who she is. So when I go through and I'm asking her, and I said, so would you ever consider looking at Arbonne again? And she kind of just looks at me and she's like, well, let me think about it. I said, you're not a quitter. Since I've known you in the last 4 years, I can count how many companies you have joined. If it doesn't work with Arbonne, and maybe it didn't work because you're overwhelmed, your life, whatever. And she goes, actually, that's funny that you say that because I'm thinking about signing up for Scentsy. I was like, okay, can you give me a chance? Like, you're going to go to another company. People are going to buy essential oils now before they buy Scentsy. They're going to buy, like, and kind of go back to, are you going to use mascara and shampoo, lipstick, maybe, before you buy Scentsy products or oils? Like, people are going to put money into their bathroom and their nutrition cabinet before they put their money to other things. But just being able to walk through slowly with somebody is really cool. So for any of you guys that are scared on this journey and you're all afraid to start people, this seriously is the key. And I've showed a bunch of RVPs, different documents that we had in here. And the kind of the key is that I gave one to Nate. And I don't know if we've been able to go over, we haven't really talked since then because he was so busy. But in giving this to somebody, being able to them have some of the documents in the back, like client care cards, having a few things printed off so they can work with 2 to 3 of them, and then they know what they need to go find instead of go find this. Oh, what does it do? I don't even know what it looks like. Oh, it has this picture on it. You know, that kind of thing. Like being able to work as soon as you get going, because you just gave that person an extra week in their business instead of making them wait for something that comes in the mail from Arbonne. And then by the time it gets there, they could have already talked to 15 people, 15 of their top people, ruined the relationships, and then you're coming in trying to help them rebuild it. Follow? So I know that through the summer, like there's so many people, which is awesome. There's so many people because of the Genius Ultra, friends that I attended the white party at the year I became an area manager are in qualification for region or have just completed, or I'm sorry, in qualification for nation or just completed region. Like that device, as stupid as we may think it is, makes so much money because of the results that it's giving people. And men are buying it just as much as women are. So like we need to make sure that we're not discriminating. And one of my goals, which has been a goal for a while, and then I just kind of shrank away from it. One of my goals is to help men be successful in this business, no matter where they live, because we do generalize and it's like, oh, girls do this. Yet you still have all these men who are going to go work out or work every single day for their families. Like they would die for them. Why are we not helping them? Why are we not showing them how to show their children a better way? Kind of thing. So that's kind of where we're going with that. And then going forward, we're going to have, so our monthly meeting will always be on the first Monday, and then the Discover Arbonnes will always be on the third. And then the other opposite Mondays will be tutorials. So people can, next week we're doing cosmetics, and I will have a model so I can have somebody do makeup on her and like show you what to do with makeup. Everything that I learned on makeup, most people laugh, was from a $5 DVD that a makeup artist did for Arbonne. I paid over 15 grand to go to school, got there, and we get to the makeup and it's like, eyeliners for your eyes, lip liners for your lips. I was like, seriously? How am I gonna go help people with this? Because I wanted to get into wedding makeup. But now being able to sell somebody the products and then walk them through the steps as to what to do, they can invest and have, instead of paying me, because some wedding makeup literally is up to $160 for one time, they can take that same money, put into products that they can use and have for however long. So we'll be doing that. We'll be doing the boot camp. The nutrition boot camp will always be the Monday following the Discover Arbonne. So it'll probably always be the fourth Monday. If there's a fifth Monday, we'll do another tutorial. This month will be the C-Source Detox Spa line, kind of walking through. Again, it's just educating people, because if they have the education on what we're doing and what our product does, instead of opening a catalog and they can pick a handful of items that they're using, you will open their bathroom cabinet and every product in there will be an Arbonne product that every month you get paid on when they reorder. So find the documents on the source for the price list, and this one's also on there, the Arbonne Special Value Packs. You can find it on there as well. Get the upcoming tutorials and whatnot in a calendar, and then we can invite people. And for people Skyping or calling in, you can watch. And what I want to do, my goal, is that we can use here as a general, or no, what do you call it when you tap into? So if this is the main one and other people at other locations are tapping into our stream, then all of my clients and consultants in Great Falls can go to Jen at the salon and tap into a video screen. Same thing, they're learning the same tips. Krista in Wyoming, she can do the same thing even when she eventually gets to Colorado. Nicole, who's going to be in Seattle, we can set up little off-site things, but then using somebody else's knowledge. We can also change who trains on them. So if it's a line or something that you're passionate about, let me know, because we can rotate who does the training for that. And then this doesn't matter, we can zoom in. You can watch people all over. So thank you for coming. If you have questions, I'm going to have you either comment or text them to me or Facebook them to me, and then we can answer them that way. But go find the drive, the Google Drive, if you haven't. Make yourself really familiar with this, because if your business is stagnant, this is why. Your business will stop growing when you stop putting effort into seeing what's changing. And if you embrace change, like, okay, today's gonna be different than tomorrow. You're either growing or you're dying. You're gonna change either way. Like, as much as I hate change, if I see something that's scary, I'm like, okay, let's go do it. Like, let's get it over with. Because if I don't go do it, I'm gonna be I'm pretty much scaring myself into not wanting it even more so. But then if I'm out and about, if I'm more afraid of change than the person that I'm talking to, will they follow me? They will go find someone that is not afraid of change because they know what's coming, right? So keep that in mind. And when you download Eric Worre, if you are not on my team, if you're on my team, go find it in the Facebook group. But I just posted a challenge for a 30-day challenge that he did in a video or a call. And it's like 6 to 7 minutes to listen to it. Go listen to it. If you are looking on SoundCloud, go find Eric Worre and look it up. But he's talking about the numbers with it being a number game. How to change your business dramatically in a month. And then again, note this is going to cycle on for 90 days. So what to look for there for that. And it's one of his last 2 trainings, and it's called his 30-day challenge. And I like all of them that you can share. You can listen to it and share them. Another one you can pull up and listen to, which should be housekeeping for consultants, is his 7 deadly tips for network marketers. And it's talking about like what to never do, especially when we grow really, really quickly. That could be something that we forget, but things to not ever do to other businesses or to people for yourself, like how to keep a cap on that. But yeah, questions, message me, and yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Bruce.